Tonight on KGW News, they may be common on the coast, though now a rowdy group is drawing a crowd in the Rose City.
I've been on the river for 20 years. Never experienced anything quite like this.
Plus, a local woodworker's remarkable life.
It's as if I was born when I became blind.
In tonight's Pacific Storyland, how he found passion and purpose out of a painful past. But first, a Portland senior brutally attacked, with his family now wondering whether it was random or racially motivated. Thanks for joining us at 11. I'm David Molko. That assault happened on the East Bank Esplanade Tuesday morning to a man in his 70s who says he was just out fishing. Alma McCarty talked to the senior along with his daughter tonight. Alma?
Well, David, this was a traumatizing attack for the family, and they can't help but wonder if it was racially motivated. A warning, some of the images of those injuries are tough to see.
He likes fishing. He go to Gulami River by downtown on a broad walk.
As weather warms, excitement grows for fishermen like Sin Min Liang.
That's his usual spot. He just want to check out if the fish coming out yet in spring. So yesterday in the morning, he just went out by himself with some fishing net, whatnot.
But around 9:30, his daughter, Jia, says the 73-year-old was blindsided, attacked by a stranger.
This white guy, about 5'7", 5'8" figure with a blue beanie, just come up to him without saying a word, just pick up a thick, fat wood stick by the bank and start pounding on him.
She says he held up his arms to protect his head, but the attacker kept hitting him, completely breaking his left arm.
You see his eyes. When I first saw him, it's terrifying. Blood is all over his face, and then he's swollen, like a golf ball size, swollen over his eye.
Liang doesn't speak English, and his daughter said he didn't think he could call 911 on his own. So instead, he managed to get on the Max line, taking it back towards his apartment downtown, where he got help, calling for an ambulance.
He doesn't know why, because the man just came up without saying a word, so started an attack.
At this point, officers say the case is not being investigated as a bias crime, although a spokesperson with PPB says that could change as the investigation unfolds.
So my dad does wonder if there's racial, racism involved in this attack. He can't help but wonder.
The family is still processing what happened and warning others.
All the Asian community, especially the ones with senior parents, with them in town, just be careful. Don't go to places that's nobody around and alone, because right now Portland doesn't feel really safe.
The family is also hoping to spread the word about this to see if someone knows something. They fear that the suspect waited until no one else was on the boardwalk in the area to witness the attack. We'll be sure to keep you updated as we learn more. David?
Yeah, just deeply disturbing there. Thank you, Alma. New tonight, Clark County is trying to get a wrongful death lawsuit dismissed. This all has to do with a man who was killed by a sheriff's deputy in 2021. Genoa Donald was pulled over for a defective taillight. The deputy said Donald fought him when he told him to get out of the car, and then the vehicle started moving, dragging that deputy. That's when he shot Donald twice. Now, Donald's family says he's on the autism spectrum, and that's why he did not respond immediately to the deputy's request. They also allege the deputy reached into the car and punched him in the face. The car was rolling slowly, they say, so the deputy was able to step back then before shooting. A panel of prosecutors who reviewed the incident found the deputy's actions were justified. Donald's family says it wants to see this case go before a jury.
One of the frustrations here for Genoa's mother is that she keeps hearing about Clark County making these same mistakes. She wants justice for her son, but she also wants Clark County to clean up their act. She wants accountability.
The sheriff's office is not commenting on this lawsuit. A civil trial could start as soon as next month. Let's get you caught up on tonight's other headlines now. The U.S. Supreme Court is set to hear arguments in late April in an Oregon case that could have a major impact on how cities deal with homelessness. This case originated in Grants Pass, where homeless people sued the city, saying its anti-camping ordinances violated their constitutional rights. Now, after a lower court sided with the plaintiffs, the city appealed and now has the support of several major cities, along with California's governor. The Supreme Court ruling could likely come in June. Portland City Council has unanimously passed an ordinance to phase out the use of gas-powered leaf blowers. Beginning in 2026, blowers will only be allowed from October through December, and then in 2028, the ban would go year-round with exceptions for severe weather. Commissioner Carmen Rubio, who introduced this ordinance, cited noise pollution, excessive emissions, and health impacts. Electric blowers would still be allowed. And Boeing says security video that likely would have shown work being done on the 737 MAX 9 jet that lost its door plug is now gone. The company said the video was overwritten because it doesn't retain security footage for longer than a month. The NTSB had requested the video as part of its investigation. The door plug was opened and closed last year during unrelated repair work before the plane was delivered to Alaska Airlines. Investigators have already determined it appears the bolts meant to keep it in place were not reinstalled. Well, we have an update this evening on a KGW investigation and the case of a Vancouver renter who'd been living in squalor with no working toilet, no running water, save for the rain that was dripping into the kitchen through a hole in her ceiling. Now, Casey Jewell had tried to get their landlord to make repairs at the hidden RV and mobile home park, though because Jewell was behind on rent, a loophole in Washington law meant she couldn't do much more than complain. Turns out our story, along with the public outcry that followed, prompted management to find her a new home last week, right around the corner.
And when you got contact with them, that's when they're like, oh, we better do something. Thank you. Thank you for your prayers.
Well, her new place has heat, air conditioning, running water, and a working toilet. Meanwhile, a House bill in Olympia to close that loophole never got a hearing. You're watching KGW News, and straight ahead at 11, he lost his sight, though not his vision. A story of hands-on hope in tonight's Pacific Storyland. Plus, streaming up the Columbia, what has a swarm of sea lions hitting Rose City docks in droves.
I think a lot of people will be basking in the sun, soaking it up over the next several days. Here's the Oregon coast, a great sunset, just some scattered high clouds. Even those will be hard to find over the next several days as we have an amazing stretch of weather that begins tomorrow after a chilly morning.